everyone, welcome to Cross the Ditch NC. My name is Laura and I'm so glad you're here today. I'm going to give you a quick update on the garden behind us, and we are going to transplant some of the seedlings that I planted a few weeks ago into our garden, and then we're going to run down to the big garden and do a little bit of work. Alright, so here we have the kale coming along slowly but surely. Doing rather good. My bunching onions, this is my first year planting them, so I don't know exactly what to expect, but they're still growing slowly but surely. My one lonely artichoke. And give you a quick overview, looking through the garden. Try not to move too fast so no one gets motion sickness. There we go. And then here's the no-dig garden. It's doing really well. Kale that I planted. Then, turnips are coming up. And then these are purple cabbages. They're coming up, doing well. And then these are the mustard greens. These over here are doing really well. And then I planted these about a month later, so they're just really starting to come up. Alright, here are my rutabagas, doing exceptionally well. These are the ones that I transplanted from seedlings, and then these are the ones that I planted as seeds. I direct sowed them into the garden. So they're about a month behind one another. But all in all, doing really well. My basil's holding on. Still growing. Cabbage, the one plant that didn't get attacked by bugs, is doing really well. And the other two that did are holding on. Gotta get in here and get these weeds pulled. This is my cauliflower. I did not cover these when I transplanted them, so they have been eaten by bugs, but still growing, still doing well. I got to get in here and pull all these weeds out, and I'm going to put some more cauliflower over here on this side of the bed where I used to have okra. Sweet peas. Step over this. Check this out. Look. Oh, get out of the way, Lee. Look at that. My golden radish. So excited. Check that out. Yes. Some of these got split, so I'll be sure to feed those to the chickens. But my golden radish are doing really well. I am so excited. I get easily distracted by radish. So I do succession planting with my radish, so every week I plant more radish. So you see it in different stages of growth. My golden radish are the ones that I planted first, and then these down here were 1 week and 3 weeks, or excuse me, 1 week and 2 weeks later. And then you've got 4 weeks after initial planting. These were 5 weeks after the initial planting. These are my newest ones. So what I'll do in this area right here, where I am pulling radish up right now, is I will add just a little bit more nutrients back into the soil, and then I will plant some more radish seed there this weekend, because I'm going to keep these radish going for as long as I possibly can. There goes one of my red radish. Oh yeah, I got quite a few of these ready. Yes, I'm so excited. I adore radish. There's a little cricket. sweet peas growing up the fence here. What's up, dude? Holy. All right, my sweet peas are growing up the fencing incredibly well. Hoping to see some blossoms coming off of it soon. I love the way sweet peas or beans, anything look growing up a fence. It's so pretty to me. We'll walk down this way. We have some carrots. The ones that I just recklessly threw out here after the ones that I actually planted with intention did not do good. So these are my recklessly sown carrots. They're doing really well. I have some in different stages of growth. Here are some that I just threw out here about 2 weeks ago. So they're doing really well. And I really want to uncover this broccoli. I want to take the bug netting off of it so badly. But in our forecast for the next 10 days, it's showing temperatures still in the like 80s, upper 70s, low 80s. And so like you can see here, because I have had apparently a bug get underneath. Try to back up a little bit. You can see right there, I've had some of my broccoli eaten by bugs. I need to put some sandbags or something down the side of this so my netting will stay tucked in. So I think it's getting to the point though, I'm gonna uncover this. But overall, the broccoli is doing really well, as well as the Brussels sprouts. Those are the Brussels sprouts I planted. So I ended up uncovering the lettuce this past week to protect it from bugs. And because I used a shade cloth instead of just a regular insect barrier, it drastically limited the light that my lettuce was getting, so it got really leggy. So I'm gonna let this grow and just see what it does. And I have some more seedlings of lettuce under my carport, so I'm gonna transplant those out here well in just a little while. Sweet peas. My salad bowl lettuce is doing really good. Spinach coming in. Lots of peas. And I just randomly come out here and plant little seedlings here and there, so hopefully we'll get some lettuce going. This is the Tom Thumb lettuce, so I'm excited about it. Pulled our pepper plants. You can see the peas growing up the cattle panel. I just walked into a spider web. Ugh. Peas growing up our cattle panel, so that's going to be really pretty growing over that arch. Still have one pepper plant left, producing some delicious bell peppers. So I'm gonna let this keep going for as long as it wants. And as you can see there, my Carolina Reaper doing really good. And then our turnips, which I have random onions that have sprouted in here. So we're gonna have to do some thinning out in here shortly. But that is our backyard garden. We're gonna transplant some seedlings in here in just a moment. These flowers are so beautiful. So you see him. All right, so we got the weeds chopped up in the backyard garden. We're gonna come over and chop a section of the big garden, and then we're gonna try to get some of our seedlings transplanted. Just want to show you this beautiful sunset. Try to get a little focus there. This camera really does not do it justice. Just the blue and the pink and the purple in the sky. It's absolutely gorgeous. All right, so I wanted to share something really awesome that's getting ready to happen locally. I wanted to share it with you. This upcoming Friday, the town will begin the community garden build, and I am super excited to participate in that. The young lady who has headed this up from the get-go has done a lot of really hard work to get this coordinated, and they have some really great plans for this community garden. So she has given me permission to film and share the build with you, and she's also been nice enough to let me do a quick interview with her so you guys can learn more about her and the origin, kind of where the thought of the community garden started, and their vision for the future of that community garden. So super excited to share that with you in just a couple more days. You guys are a little bit further away than what I intended. All right, so I'm gonna get this spinach and lettuce transplanted into this back raised bed. That way, because they are definitely, the lettuce has outgrown. I don't know if y'all can see that in the light, but hanging down right here are the roots of my lettuce. So it has outgrown its trays. But I'm gonna get my spinach and lettuce transplanted before I lose too much sunlight. That way they'll be in their new home. They'll have some time to get acclimated, give it a good water before bedtime. I like to plant my transplants in the evening time, because even though, or like my seedling transplants, because even though I've spent the past week and a half hardening off my seedlings, so I grow them under a grow light, and then after they get not quite as big as these are, but after they look like they're pretty established in their little trays, I will move them out from underneath the grow light to an area of my carport that gets a little bit of sun, but it gets some of that wind flow and stuff. That way we can start to slowly harden off the seedlings so they won't shock so much when I put them outside. And then as the days go by, I move them into more direct sunlight, and I do that slowly over the course of the 2 weeks. That way the sunlight doesn't scorch the little tender seedlings. It gives them time to get used to it. So these little guys I've been working to get them hardened off, and I think they're good to go. Put my little stick here so I'll remember what I have. I've got 2 of them. Scooch up a little. I planted a lot of spinach. I really like spinach. When you're planting seedlings, or when you're planting seeds in seed trays, and in the preparation for your garden, it doesn't matter what season it is, whether it is you're planting them in late winter, early spring to go ahead and get them started for your summer garden, or if you're planting them late summer, early fall to get them established for your fall and winter garden. It's always a great idea to plant more than what you think you'll need, and that is because not every seed will germinate. You may get lucky and every seed will germinate, but most of the time you'll have a few that won't. So in this 6-pack sale, I had 2 of my 6 seeds that did not germinate. So I always plant about 2 extra seed sales of plants just to kind of account for that. And if everything germinates and I don't have space to put everything in my garden, I will give those seeds away to friends who live locally that have a garden or are starting a garden. and that way they'll have some little seedlings for their garden. So it doesn't go to waste. Just put that extra soil in there. Got a few more. Watch my spacing here because I've got some lettuce that has started coming in from seeds that I planted over here. So, like I've told you before, I've planted stuff that will grow like into the winter, but I've never really like focused on having a full-fledged winter garden. And so this is the first year that we're having the moderately scaled, I guess you could say, winter garden. So I'm super excited about that. I'm super excited to share that with you. I'm excited to share the community garden that is being built this weekend. I'm excited to share the build and the progress and the growth of that garden. When I was talking to the young lady who's heading the program up, I told her, I said, I am more than happy to help because I'm always trying to find places to grow new things. And so something like the extra seedlings like I was just talking about a while ago, I have full intentions that in the spring, or not in the spring, but late winter, when I go to start my seedlings for my garden, that I'm going to start some extra ones so they can be planted into that winter garden, and it will benefit the community as well. Critters. Go on. I don't like bugs. Okay. Got my spinach in. I'm going to very ungracefully get up. That way I can move you guys and plant the lettuce because I have lost pretty much all sunlight. What is lighting me is the little street lamp in our backyard. I'm just going to come in the areas where I did not have seeds to take, or maybe some of my seedlings I initially put in here died off for whatever reason. And I'm just going to kind of fill in the holes with these seedlings. You guys are doing great. Oh. Get about 3. No, I won't do one right there. We'll do those 2. That little sticker right there, that way I can remember what type of lettuce this is. Because I cannot remember if it's the Paris Island or the Coastal Star Romaine. But I know it's romaine. This is the Coastal Star Romaine. Check it out. I got to get those guys transplanted. But lots of little seedlings. Soon to be fantastic salad. get some of these peas trained to go up that trellis. I'm so excited about having some fresh lettuce during the wintertime because the flavor, just the flavor of fresh food in general, just cannot be described compared to the food, like the fresh vegetables you buy at the grocery store. They're not quite as fresh as people think they are. And so whenever you bite into something that is freshly plucked from the garden versus the exact same thing that you bought supposedly fresh at the grocery store, the flavors are going to be different even though it is the exact same thing. I'm trying to hang upside down, you can't see me. If you don't believe me, go buy you some radish from the grocery store and then bite it, and then buy a fresh radish from the garden. You will notice a drastic difference in flavor. It is amazing. So this is one thing I'm excited about, having that fresh lettuce and the fresh spinach and the kale and the peas and the broccoli and the cauliflower and the Brussels sprouts and all the goodness in the winter months. All right, I'm gonna get the garden closed up for the night. I've got a little sprinkler head set up to water everything that I just planted, which is all right there in the same area. So I'll have very little wasted water, hopefully, because I've got to go in and cook. But I'm gonna get those planted, or it's not planted, but get those watered. And then tomorrow when I get off work, I will come home and get the rest of those 2 garden beds planted, which you can't see because of my shadow. We'll get the rest of those 2 garden beds planted, and then we will work some more in the big garden and start getting some garlic and cabbage planted over there. All right, so here are the seedlings I have left to transplant. Some of this is going to go to the community garden, like some of the herbs that I know will last through the winter time. This is a lot of my broccoli and cauliflower I'm going to get put in the backyard tomorrow. Some onions that I'm doing my science experiment with, I'll tell you about. So I've got to finish getting all these planted, and let me show you something else. A few more things started underneath the grow light. I've got some more romaine lettuce, some more, oh, what is that, cabbage. I did lots of cabbage. My neighbors love cabbage, so I planted lots of cabbage. What do I have over here? Some more broccoli. And this weekend I want to get some more seeds started for a few more things to go into the big garden. All right, I have to show this to you. So I started following a young lady by the name of Kelsey on Instagram, and the name of her Instagram page is called Families Who Cook, and a lot of her content focuses around broth, which I absolutely love broth. I love soups. I love using broth in a lot of recipes. And she shares a lot of recipes that involve broth. She recently had an ebook that she released called Broth at Home. And I was able to download it. And I got a lot of really fantastic recipes out of her ebook, including the tortilla soup that I'm currently making. That is a hit with not only my husband, but both of my kids, and it is so healthy. So that is what I'm making tonight for supper, and I will show you the finished product here in just a little bit. Alright, so here's the tortilla soup. The one thing that I do different with it is I do not add in the corn tortillas into the soup itself. We did try that one time. Bless you, bud. And the kids weren't a fan of the texture, so I left them out, and they liked it more as like a soupy broth. So that's the tortilla soup. And we're gonna have some olive oil and garlic, sauteed kale, along with our pork for supper. All right, that's gonna do it for today. Thank you for joining me. I hope you'll come back to my next video because I'm going to show you the community garden and the interview with the young lady who is responsible for getting things going with it. So I cannot wait to share that with you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a blessed day and come back to see me again soon.